All right, let me ask you something. Have you ever stopped to think about what a wizard with a lightning bolt scar, a girl from District 12, and a little hobbit from the Shire could possibly have in common? I mean, they seem like they're from completely different universes, right? But there's this secret formula, a kind of hidden blueprint that ties them all together. Yeah, on the surface, their quests are totally different. You've got one fighting dark magic, another fighting for her life in this brutal televised game, and the third just trying to destroy a piece of jewelry. But what if I told you that deep down, underneath all that, they're actually all just variations of the exact same hero?
I know, it sounds kind of crazy, right? But this isn't just some wild theory. It's actually backed by some pretty serious research. There was this brilliant mythologist, Joseph Campbell, and he spent his life studying myths and legends from literally every corner of the globe. And in his amazing book, The Hero with a Thousand Faces, he found it, this universal pattern, a single story being told over and over and over again. So Campbell gave this universal template a name, the monomyth. You might know it by its more famous name, though, the hero's journey. And it's basically this framework for adventure, for struggle, and for transformation that just resonates so deeply with us as humans. It's so powerful, in fact, that it's pretty much become the backbone of storytelling itself.
Okay, so you're probably wondering, how does this blueprint actually work? Well, the easiest way to picture it is like a circle, a cycle. The journey, believe it or not, always starts and ends right back in the hero's normal, everyday life. But the real story, the adventure part, that all happens when they step across a line into a world that is anything but ordinary.
And this contrast is absolutely crucial. See, the hero starts out in their ordinary world. It's safe, it's familiar, it's home. But then something happens, a call to adventure, and it pulls them into the special world. And this place is full of danger, mystery, and huge challenges. But it's also the only place where real growth can happen.
Now, to make this even easier to grasp, Campbell actually broke the whole journey down into distinct stages. A really cool way to think about it is like the face of a clock, with each number marking a key moment in the hero's quest. So let's walk through these 12 steps together. Okay, first up, you have the call to adventure. That's the moment everything changes. Then comes assistance, where a hero usually gets help from an older, wiser mentor figure. After that, we have the departure, the point of no return, when they finally leave their normal world behind. That leads right into the trials, solving riddles, slaying monsters, all that good stuff. Then the approach, when it's time to face their biggest fear, which all builds up to the crisis. This is the hero's darkest hour, where they have to face a kind of death, only to be reborn stronger. So after surviving that crisis, the hero gets to claim their treasure. This could be a literal reward or just some crucial new understanding. Then we see the result of that confrontation, which kicks off the return journey back home. But they're not the same person who left. This is their new life. The resolution is where all the loose ends get tied up. And finally, we land back at a new status quo. The hero is home, but everything has changed.
So I know this might all sound a little bit abstract, but here's the cool part. Once you know this pattern, I promise you are going to see it everywhere. So many of our favorite stories use this exact formula. Let's actually put it to the test with a perfect example.
How about the Hunger Games? I mean, it's a pretty modern story, right? But it follows this ancient template almost perfectly. Just think about it for a second. Think about the very beginning of Katniss Everdeen's story. When does her journey really kick off? Well, her call to adventure isn't some mysterious letter delivered by an owl. No, it's a totally gut-wrenching moment. The second her little sister Prim's name is called at the reaping, boom, Katniss's ordinary world is just shattered. She screams, "I volunteer as tribute," and right there, the quest begins. And what about that assistant step? Does she get help from a wiser, though, let's be honest, not exactly stable, figure? Oh, for sure. Haymitch Abernathy, the cynical, jaded former victor who becomes her reluctant mentor, the only person who can guide her through the insane world she's about to enter. Her departure? It's just as obvious. The moment she steps onto that super fast train to the capital, she has officially left her ordinary world behind for good. And the rest of her story, from the trials in the arena to the crisis of facing those mutts, and finally returning home a completely changed person, it all follows the blueprint, step by step. Okay, but here's the thing. This isn't really about Harry Potter or Katniss Everdeen. The most important part of all of this is what it has to do with you. There's a reason this pattern shows up in every culture on Earth. It's because it's not just a story we tell, it's the story we live. Think about it.
We all follow this cycle all the time. We leave our comfort zone, our own ordinary world, to face some big challenge. That experience fundamentally changes us, and we come back transformed. You might not be literally fighting Voldemort, but you're definitely facing your own scary problems, your own personal dragons. Joseph Campbell had this beautiful way of putting it. He would ask people, "What is the symbolic cave you fear to enter?" It's such a powerful question, isn't it? It's that one thing. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That one thing you know you need to do, but it terrifies you.
And that cave can be literally anything. Maybe it's auditioning for the school play or trying out for the baseball team. Heck, it could even be something as vulnerable as opening yourself up to the idea of love. These are our trials. These are our modern-day versions of slaying the dragon. So as we start to wrap this all up, the focus really shifts. It moves away from the stories on the screen and towards the person in the mirror. Because this ancient pattern, it isn't just a cool tool for analyzing movies. It's a map. It's a guide for your own life, for answering your own call to adventure. And Campbell's most famous quote really just says it all, doesn't it? The very thing that we are most afraid to do, the thing we avoid at all costs, is so often the very place where we'll find our greatest reward, our greatest strength, and our greatest growth. So my challenge to you is this. Start to look for this pattern in your own life. Listen for that call. And when it comes, and it will come, accept the challenge. Don't run away from the cave. Run towards it. Conquer that fear. And go claim the treasure that is absolutely waiting for you on the other side. Because you know what? Just like in the stories, the end of one journey is really just the new, upgraded starting point for the next one. Your own journey is always waiting. So the only real question left is, are you ready to begin?